When Samsung added an Ultra phone to its S20 lineup last year, we all knew what to expect. The Samsung Galaxy S20 Ultra, true to its moniker, actually stood up to its name thanks to all the daunting specs on offer. Having said that, while the phone was good, there were a few teething problems. Well, thankfully, Samsung has gone back to the drawing board with the S21 Ultra and has tried to fix most of it with a smorgasbord of new features and refinements added to this new phone. But has Samsung managed to actually turn the tide in its favor with its new smartphone and the new chip and everything that is on offer? Well, I'm Ashar from Mysmartprice English. Let's find out in my full review of the new Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra. But before we move on, we would like to request something for all the viewers who are watching us for the very first time, because this is our very first video on this channel. Don't forget to hit that red subscribe button and the bell icon right next to it to get notified whenever Mysmartprice English puts out an awesome new tech video, because trust me, we are going to bring out some excellent premium content on gadgets and more for you guys. Also, if you want to watch this video in Hindi, a link to it should pop up right now. The Galaxy S21 Ultra is definitely a behemoth, but considering the amount of tech it packs inside, Samsung has done its best to maintain a good balance between thickness, weight, and overall ergonomics. I found the in-hand feel of the matte glass finish to be excellent. It doesn't feel slippery either. By the way, the phone is protected by Corning Gorilla Glass Victus on the front and the rear. In my experience with the Note 20 Ultra, Victus has been really good at protecting from scratches and drop protection. My Note 20 Ultra is unscathed. I'm expecting the same for the S21 Ultra. And the phantom black color with a seamlessly blending camera module, which has chamfered edges of its own by the way, looks absolutely stunning. Doubt I'd ever put it in a case. Now, talking about protection, the S21 Ultra also comes with an IP68 waterproof rating, so that's great. The buttons offer phenomenal tactile feedback and an oh so satisfying sound when clicked. You get a USB Type-C Gen 3.2 port at the bottom, but yeah, Samsung has axed the option to add expandable micro SD card memory on the SIM tray. All said and done, I really like the fact that Samsung has found a way to, embrace that ungainly camera module on the Samsung Galaxy S20 Ultra and chisel it into something like this. As usual, Samsung's latest flagship has one of the most captivating displays on a smartphone yet. Whether you're streaming shows or playing games or simply browsing Twitter, the display just makes you go wow. This 6.8-inch dynamic AMOLED 2X panel offers a QHD Plus resolution and has a 120Hz adaptive refresh rate option as well. The adaptive refresh rate can easily flit between 10Hz to 120Hz depending on the visual on screen. Samsung claims that it actually helps with battery performance, and it actually does. I'll talk more about that in the battery section. Now, I don't even have to say this, you get wideband L1 and HDR playback support, 1500 nits of peak brightness, excellent viewing angles and sunlight edgeability, and absolutely no screen bleeding either. Now, this is a proper super premium flagship experience. It is almost like Samsung is flexing its muscle here with the excellent display on offer. But the display experience doesn't end there. Samsung has also further enhanced the haptic feedback performance. It is tighter now. And there is a second gen ultrasonic in-display fingerprint scanner with a wider touch area, which means you can unlock the screen faster now. Plus, let's not forget the new S Pen support with the phone. I tried the Note 20 Ultra's S Pen and it worked. However, the cool Bluetooth-based air gestures that work with the Note 20 Ultra don't actually work with the S21 Ultra because it's not connected by Bluetooth to begin with. And like I mentioned, last year's Exynos 990 received a lot of flack, and rightfully so, because it was actually underpowered compared to the Snapdragon 865. Now, I've been using the S21 Ultra with the Exynos 2100, and trust me, it has fixed all of those issues, and I had a blast with the power on offer. Heck, COD Mobile runs at very high graphics and max frame rates with water reflection on. Coupled with 240Hz of touch sampling rate, gaming on a Samsung flagship is fun again. Because I distinctly remember trying to play Genshin Impact on the Galaxy Note 20 Ultra, every time I pushed the frame rates to 60 FPS, the game would lag hard. The Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra sails through 60 FPS at high settings, but at highest it does stutter a bit. Now this is still pretty great. And then it was also fun to play games with support for 120 frames per second on the 120Hz display. But what about heating, you ask? Well, I played COD for 30 minutes each on the Note 20 Ultra and the S21 Ultra. The results are there for you to see on the screen. Clearly, S21 Ultra's thermal efficiency has improved by leaps and bounds. Now coming to the benchmarks bit, the Antutu numbers compared to Snapdragon 888 benchmarks shared by Qualcomm look underwhelming, but the Geekbench scores are in the ballpark range only. So I took a closer look at the Antutu numbers, and the issue was lower GPU scores. And therefore I decided to test the 3D Mark GPU performance scores, and for that I actually asked my good friend Arun Prabhudesai from Tracking Tech to help me out with this Mi 11 unit, so thank you so much for that. But surprisingly, the Exynos 2100's Mali G78 GPU actually scored higher in the Vulkan test against Exynos 660 inside the Snapdragon 888. I generally feel there is something off with these benchmark scores, and in the context of the S21 Ultra Exynos 2100 variant, all that matters is that it is powerful and doesn't heat up. Plus, I must show you the absolutely mad UFS 3.1 sequential read-write scores. It is nuts and almost as fast as an SSD. By the way, the audio performance of the stereo speakers is on par with the Galaxy Note 20 Ultra, loud, clear and crisp. Nothing has changed on that front. And the audio through my USB Type-C dongle or even Bluetooth audio was great. One of the biggest problems of the Exynos chips in the past was the battery performance, and once again, I'm glad to report that 5nm Exynos 2100 and One UI 3.0's battery optimizations are excellent. The 5000 mAh battery lasted me over 6 hours and 30 minutes with display set to QHD Plus resolution and 120Hz refresh rate. But I got over 7 hours on FHD Plus resolution with 120Hz adaptive refresh rate. You can easily expect it to last over a day if you are conservative with the resolution setting. As for the charging speeds, I tried a 65W GAN charger with the phone, but let it be known that the S21 Ultra has support for a max of 25W only. At this rate, the 5000 mAh battery charge from 0 to 100 in 1 hour and 2 minutes, this is pretty good. The Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra in India is a 5G ready phone. Unfortunately, we can't test it now. But 4G performance was rock solid, call quality was excellent with a great earpiece performance as well, and most importantly, Wi-Fi was super stable and rock solid as well. The Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra is also possibly the first phone to come with support for Wi-Fi 6E thanks to the new Broadcom chip. Now what this will do, at least in the US, is open up a plot of the 6 GHz spectrum for unlicensed usage. Now what this means is that you will get a wider bandwidth, less congestion and faster speeds. Unfortunately, there's no word of when that deployment will happen in India yet, but this is something that you can wait for, similar to 5G. The Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra has 4 cameras on the rear, a 108 megapixel main camera, two 10 megapixel telephoto cameras which can do 3x zoom and 10x zoom respectively, and finally a 12 megapixel ultra wide. And of course, it has a 40MP camera on the front. Now while I'm working on a full-fledged camera comparison between the Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra, Note 20 Ultra and the iPhone 12 Pro Max, I still have my thoughts ready for the review, so here goes nothing. Let me start with the focus enhancer mode. With big 108 megapixel sensors attached to a wide f/1.8 lens, the biggest concern with the S20 Ultra and the Note 20 Ultra was a narrow field of view when shooting a subject up close. But Samsung has a solution now with the focus enhancer mode. Essentially, the app automatically switches to the ultra wide angle camera to take a close up with better focus. Remember when brands did something similar for macro mode using ultra wide? Yeah, this is the same thing. I don't have a problem with this approach, apart from the fact that the images do look slightly distorted at close crop. Regardless, this is a good workaround. The other new feature is the director's view mode that lets you shoot using the front camera and switch between any one of the 4 lenses on the rear. It is a fantastic way to showcase the Exynos 2100's chops. And it feels like Samsung is trying to one-up Apple here by integrating the feature into the app itself, unlike depending on a third-party one such as Filmic Pro. Samsung's new ISOCELL HN3 sensor offers sharper details at close crop now. It is definitely crisper than both the Galaxy Note 20 Ultra and the iPhone 12 Pro Max. Now the dynamic range performance has been improved from the Galaxy Note 20 Ultra and is on par with the iPhone 12 Pro Max now. However, I was slightly taken aback by the amount of noise in the shadows. Samsung will have to fix that issue with processing in a software update. When it comes to color processing, in our sample shot of Pixel 4 oh so orange color, the S21 Ultra actually gets the shade fairly right compared to the iPhone 12 Pro Max, which has made it pink. And even the flower on the rear has boosted colors. But there are definitely times when the S21 Ultra botches the color temperature. You can clearly see the red cast on the building in the second sample, which is not a problem on the iPhone 12 Pro Max. The ultra wide angle camera is sharp as usual, and the color science consistency across lenses is great too. Now the biggest, most excellent upgrade to the S21 Ultra is the 10x telephoto and the 3x telephoto. So at these magnification levels, you get crisp details and you get phenomenal natural bokeh. I am in love. And up to 30x you can get usable images as well. In fact, I got a nice shot of the crescent moon at 100x as well. Just need to have a little bit of patience. Now one thing about the cameras is that Samsung has added OIS, plus it uses the power of electronic image stabilization together with the telephoto cameras to actually ensure that you can lock focus quickly on the faraway subject and take a picture. As for portraits, I noticed some flesh tone inconsistencies at 2x default sample and the 1x one, but the edge detection was just fantastic as usual and the natural bokeh was great too. However, the flesh tones on the main camera shots of the human subjects veered towards a red color, but the details and exposure control is just phenomenally good. Now I don't even have to say this, selfies on the 40MP camera look extremely sharp and detailed, plus now you even get the option to switch to a natural look. Again, I absolutely love how the camera does a fantastic job with night mode as well. You can see that it doesn't overdo the colors and merely makes the image look brighter and reduces the noise entirely. In fact, you have night mode available across lenses, but the main camera does the best job, obviously. I was really impressed with the low light portraits as well. The results are there for you to see on screen. 4K 60 FPS from the front and the rear both look really good, and of course you can also shoot in 8K at 24 FPS. Oh, before I forget this, finally, single take now lets you pick and choose the shots and the videos you want to take for the final set of multimedia to be captured by the phone. So if you don't want short clips, you can remove that. So I do like the fact that Samsung gives us the control of picking what we want in single take now. Now Samsung has done a lot of work to improve the performance of its cameras. The dynamic range performance and the details on offer with the new HM3 sensor is actually very good. Yes, there are some issues here and there. For example, there is that color temperature issue that I talked about, and of course there's the noise in the shadows as well. Now those are things that obviously can be fixed in post, and I'm not really worried about that because I really like the reliability of the new S21 Ultra's camera, so that's really good. And of course the telephoto cameras are fantastic. The 3x and the 10x zoom are really good. So that's something that I absolutely appreciated using on the S21 Ultra, and would like to appreciate Samsung for making the cameras better this year around. To be honest, I think that the S21 Ultra is definitely among the top 3 best smartphone cameras out there. It is no surprise that the Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra comes with the latest One UI 3.1 update based on Android 11. It is my second favorite Android skin after Oxygen OS. In typical Samsung fashion, One UI 3.1 is absolutely chock-a-block with features. There's dark mode, DeX, always on display, focus mode, customization, options aplenty, deep sleep and much more. Yet it doesn't feel very overwhelming. But yes, I did encounter a couple of Samsung ads prodding me to buy the very Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra that I was using. Also, the brute force use of Samsung Free instead of Google Discover on the -1 page was annoying to say the least. Honestly, I had my expectations in check with the Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra, primarily because of the issues that existed with the Exynos variant of the S20 Ultra. Now, thankfully, Samsung has graciously accepted its foibles and, of course, fixed it with aplomb. Now, this is a refined smartphone with the level of finesse that you can come to expect from the S series, and I think it's possibly one of the best S series phones till date. Yes, the Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra is expensive, but it is filled with more features than you could have asked for. And I am surprised to say this as well, is for the very first time, Samsung might have actually made an Exynos variant of the S series phone in India that could actually appeal to the performance enthusiasts as well. So performance plus finesse is obviously a great combination. Now, as for the comparisons, obviously everybody would want to compare the S21 Ultra to the Note 20 Ultra and of course, the iPhone 12 Pro Max. Now with the S Pen support for the S21 Ultra, I feel that the Note series' death is inevitable, and that is possibly not gonna affect me too much if this is the kind of refinement that we can get in the S series. Now, with the iPhone 12 Pro Max, I mean, that's a difficult sort of comparison to make because obviously it's both the phones are equally good. I mean, that's obviously on the iOS end of the spectrum. This is Android, and you have to be very loyal to one of these operating systems for you to pick one. But if you are an iOS user and you want the same kind of refinement from an Android phone, the same kind of finesse from an Android phone, I can't think of a better phone than the S21 series, to be entirely honest, and especially the S21 Ultra. Alright, so that was our in-depth review of the Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra. Hope you guys liked it and of course found it useful in case you're making a purchase decision. Now this is the kind of content that you can obviously expect from Mysmartprice English, and if you guys have any specific feedback on the kind of tech videos that you'd like to watch and actually go across the spectrum, don't forget to actually add your feedback in the comment section below. We highly appreciate it, so please don't forget to do that. Well, until next time, this is Exynos from Mysmartprice English signing off. Goodbye and Godspeed, my friends.